So, quickly, I'm gonna just share with you about the journey with Kwik. We launched Kwik last May, and the main goal at that time was to create a tool for illustrators and authors to create children's book. Since then, 71 updates were made, more than 50 apps were launched and using the plugin, which is crazy. The feedback from you has been amazing, and this is one of the reasons that I see so many people from Asia right now, which is 1, 2, 3 in the morning, Australia, and you're coming here. So thank you so much. I'm very grateful for you for that. Uh, since then, again, I've been receiving several requests from other SDK vendors asking me to, migrate Kwik to other SDKs, which is pretty cool also. And several apps have been recognized as very good ones, not only from Corona, as you can read in the screen, but as well as other websites. So the journey has been pretty cool, and this is pretty much thanks to you. So really appreciate. Thanks for that. But now it's time to move on, especially because during this year, although so many updates were made through your recommendation and suggestion, I've been trying to be very open with suggestions and according your needs. I've been, creating the features or moving features up or down in the list. But a few has popped up since the beginning. The first one is okay. Kwik is nice. It enables design and Illustrator to create things, but we need more. We need physics. We need games for our books. So with Kwik 2, you're gonna see that there's lots of new controls for gestures. Logic conditions are there. There's an improved sync library. So let's start me show you some demos about that. And again, I'm counting on you because I'm totally blind here uh, to tell me if you are seeing everything. Uh, If you are, again, please just raise hands here and I'll see the, yes. Okay, so this is a common one. This is the old Canvas version. And the difference here is, as you can see, this is about the sync library. When you have read it to me options with the sync, you are gonna not only see the words highlight, but we are gonna be able to click a word. And if you provide individual MP3 file for each word, user will be able to click and hear just the word. This is something that some of you have requested, and it's available now with K2. Another example that I'm going to show you now is another thing that some of you have requested, and I like to thank Laura Watkins for helping me with this demo here. This is a few sample from the Snow Queen, but one thing that you'll be able to do now is to have something like this, a way to automatically have a navigation menu in all your pages if you want. So I can come here and go to page 3 directly using that, or go to the first page all with the click of a button. This is, I'm going to show you how to do that in a while, but it's just a matter of simple clicks right now. And this is also available in K2. Another thing that I would like to show you is, let me see what was the next demo in the pipe. Okay, it's the drag 2.1. The drag 2.1, it's as you can see, it's ugly. You're going to see that. But my idea here just to show things like you're going to be able, for example, to have drags just in one direction, for example. Also, as I mentioned, you may have conditions. In my case, I'm dragging up and I'm seeing the ball increasing. And also, in this particular project is made only with vectors. This is another thing that I'm going to show you later on. If you want to test something very quickly without real image, you have the option now to work with vectors in K2 as well. So let's move on. So this is the first thing that you request: more controls, better things, logic and conditions. Another thing that it was pretty much request is Some of you are not developers, some of you are working with developers or can do a little bit of coding. So it would be nice if Kwik not only create code, but allow you to use external libraries or have manual additions. So now you can do that as well. As not only you can add external libraries to Kwik, you can create variables, you can create conditions, or even manual coding without losing that. And also I'm very happy to announce today that there's the first third-party integration here. I've been working with Andreas from Code and Web, so you're going to be able to bring not only texture packs sprite sheet directly integrated with Kwik 2, as well as physics editor. So if you're using one of these two products, they are pretty much integrated with Kwik. So it's really nice. A way to do things. I'm going to show you also how to do that. The third thing is how to allow you to create not only storybooks. Many of you are just creating children's storybooks, but some of you want to work on commercial application as well as gaming. So you're going to be able to do that using your own code or just using Kwik's features. So physics is there. As I mentioned before, there's external code integration. And in the next release, I'm planning to add social media integration, Facebook and things like that, as well as some UI components. Let me show a fully made with Kwik demo, Kwik 2 demo, using physics, coding, variables, and I'm calling it basketball. So, and this is the one that I'm going to show you in details in detail in a while. But as you can see here, there's this is physics, and you can do things like that. And I'm a Brazilian, so I play soccer, not basketball. So here you go. This is 100% Kwik code generated. Okay, no coding, no nothing. So you have fully. Oh, look at me. So it's fully Kwik made. So, and I hope you like. Unfortunately, I cannot see your face now, but I'm pretty sure, like me, you are probably very excited with the possibilities. Another thing that it was very common in your request was, okay, so it's nice, but according to the project size, it takes too long to render, or it's almost impossible to figure out why it's not working. I have to go to the console, or I have to send you email. Honestly, I don't like your emails, support emails as well, because I think should be a way to give you more control on the things. And the way I'm doing that, you're going to see here, Kwik 2 is 2 to 3 times faster than Kwik 1. In Kwik 1, for example, depending on your page, every layer is going to be read several times. In Kwik 2, it's just one time. No matter if you are exporting a page just with code or code with images. So pretty fast thing. Also, there's a visual feedback right now on export. You know exactly if it's exporting or not. And another thing that I'm loving with is the visual bug handling. I'm going to show you right now. And in fact, it's going to be the first time that you're going to see the new interface. So saying that, let me try just for a second, figure out if I can get my questions windows again. If not, we are going to have to use the chat. So it's crazy. I see you asking questions, but the window simply disappear. So let me see here if we can do something different. So yeah, no questions window for me. Can you use the chat for questions, the chat area? If someone can just test it to see if it works, it would be nice, because unfortunately there is no question window for me. I'm trying to bring everything to front, but not working. and I'm afraid to close this and not be able to come back to. So no questions Windows. Let's open Photoshop. And if you can tell me that you can see Photoshop, it's so let me. So Photoshop. So can you see Photoshop? I have to believe you can. So, and again, sorry about that. Uh, this is the new interface when you comes to Kwik for the first time. Most of the elements that you are used to or familiar to are still there. You have the three buttons. I redid pretty much all the interface from the scratch, as well as pretty much all the code. So it's a new product. And why I'm telling this is because, again, what I'm showing you here is still a beta, uh, but this is pretty much the final interface. So I try to simplify all the icons and the user experience. So if you can see here, I decreased the number of icons. You have now this option to get updates, and if you have the option to check for updates when it's starting, this icon will provide you information. If it's blue, everything's okay. If it's orangey, there's new updates. So I mean, I try to put more visual elements for you. Let's open a project here, and this one is from Greg Pugh. He has been one of the alpha testers and a very nice supporter here. One thing that I'd like to show you, it's a very common thing for some of you. You have your project, we start to add things, and suddenly your project's not exporting anymore. And you have no idea why, and the only thing that you can do is try to figure out something in the console, but if it didn't export it, you have no idea to know what's happening. With Kwik 2, as I mentioned, my idea is to provide you some feedback during the process. So let's click the publish button here. And if you click publish button here, automatically it says your project has issues and you cannot export them. So more than simply tell you that there's issues, what it does is to provide you the list of issues, where the issues are, and what you should do to fix your issue. So in this particular example, you have a layer named shape1 has duplicate in page 1. So if you can see here, there's shape1 here and shape1 here. It says layer 1, for example, in group, which is a new, there's the concept of groups right now in Kwik 2, does not exist anymore. So you have to recreate the group. Or an action is calling something that does not exist anymore. So you have to re-edit the layer, the action, or delete it. So it's going to be much easier to you to, before ask for support in the forums or directly to me, to figure out what's happening with your project. And I really think it's a nice addition to Kwik 2. So this is a project. Let me quickly close here and show you the interface and things that have changed. The first thing that changed is when you open a new project right now, as you can see, there's a simplified window for that, and comics are not allowed anymore. There is no the concept of the comics or books anymore. Everything is going to be a book, and I'm going to cover comics a little bit later on in this presentation. So it's a simplified thing. You can create your stuff, or you can simply open your stuff. And as I mentioned, let me open the basketball one. Oh, okay, let me open the basketball one. So when you open, the interface changes, of course, and there's now the concept of tool sets. And tool sets are specific areas for different kind of components. So let's see here. You have the first one, it's projects and page. So everything is categorized and put together. So if you need something related to the full project or a specific page in the project, this is the tool set to go. And from here you can see there's a concept now of project properties. And when you click that, you see things related to the project. For example, I want to enable auto bookmark, or I want to export thumbnails, as I showed you in the sample from There's No Queen. You just come here and say, create thumbnails for me automatically. And you just have to inform the width and quickly calculate the other things. Or I want to create navigation panel. So, and when you do that, you set where you want your navigation, and Kwik will do the job for you. If you're working in a Japanese language or in an Arabic language, which reads right to left, and you can come here and set it also. You may say, I want to support landscape in both orientations, which means that if it's enabled and I turn my device, change orientations, it will follow. If not, when you work with physics, you're going to see that the gravity will change according to the orientation. You're going to be able also to set how do you want to scale your project for different devices. So in Kwik 1, you just have the option of stretch, but you may decide not to have stretch. You can have even or letterbox. This is in the project properties. Another thing that you have is the page properties, where you set, for example, in-app purchase in the page, the gesture, and how do you want to scale this page when it starts. And this is a new thing. Now you can not only animate layers, but as well as the full page or even groups. And I'm going to show you some. You have the option to add external libraries, to add external code, to work with in-app or multi-language. And the news here is the concept of create groups. And to create a group, all you have to do is just select 2 layers or more, come in here and say, I want to create a group. You name it, you have it. This is the show hide. The show hide, as I mentioned, you can not only work on the layer, the page, as well as a group if you have created a group. And let me check here, because I have some questions coming, I think, from Twitter. So people is commenting about the frozen screen. So can you confirm that you're seeing my screen and hear me through raising hands? So you can hear me, but you cannot see my screen. So let me try again here. Stop screen. What about now? If you can see my screen, please raise hands. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly come back here. So as I mentioned, the interface is new. The basics is there, but let me open here because I think this is a nice thing to show you, which was the project with issues. If you have a project, you click publish, automatically Kwik will tell you if there is a project issues or not, and if it has issue, Kwik will show you this report, telling where the issue is and how to fix it. So I think it's automatically. If you can see here, there is no more the book button. So it's a brand new thing. So I'm covering right now the interface. So as I mentioned, this is the project properties. You have several options for your projects. You have the the page properties with also specifically things for the layers. And also new things here, you have the concept of not only work with pages, layers, but as well as groups that you can create right now. And also you can start here in the tool set adding variables. You can set a name, a value, the type of the variable, if it's going to be global or local, and everything you can do again without coding. The second tool set is, and can you again confirm that you're seeing everything? All right. So the second thing here is in the tool set is the layers and replacement. I introduced the concept of replacement with sprite sheets and movie clips in Kwik 1, but it has much more options at this moment. So first thing is, for the layers, I try to put almost everything related to a layer in just one interface. And this is what I'm calling layer properties. And in layer properties, you can set the scale of the layer when the project starts. And this is also nice because some of you asked me in the past, I want to animate, but I want to start big or smaller, and I cannot do that. I can just set the ending, not the start. Now you can set the start here, and you can even do more than that. You can say, you know what, for this particular layer, I don't want to have a fixed position when it starts. Randomize it for me, and you can do that, and you can set limits. You can set here if you wanted to export the image as JPEG or not, even adding quality to that. Also, this is the place to define if the layer is going to be a shared asset or not. But also, I added this window here, so you have the cross-reference. If you want to know where this layer is being used, you have all the reference here. It's in a body, it's in a button, in a collision, so you know pretty much where the layer is. Also, we have, as I mentioned, the concept of replacement, not only for sprite sheets, but as well, and let me show you quickly, the sprite sheet, now you have the option to continue use your own sprite sheet or even the Photoshop sprite sheet exporter that are provided with Kwik, but as well as I mentioned, have integration with texture packer, meaning that you can create in texture pack not only same size frame sprites, but as well as optimized ones. And Kwik is gonna read it for you. This is the part of the integration. But also, I mentioned that I brought several new replacement concepts. There's the video one, and now video renders as a window, not as an independent thing anymore. So you can have a video running to get your text in the same page. Also, you have the web replacement. You can have a browser web page in a window instead of outside your reference. But as well as you have the concept of vector replacement. And let me open another project here. Let me open the Drag2 project. This is a very nice one. As I showed you, it's a very simple. I'm just playing with Kwik. I don't want to create images. It takes too long to process. So I can simply select any kind of layer, even the background, and say, you know what, this is going to be a vector replacement. And Kwik reads the information about the layer, color, size, and say, okay, I'm going to create the vector for you. It's going to be a circle or a rectangle. So doing that, you don't need to create to export image. Everything's going to be vectors. Also, I have map replacements here. And two new things. The first one is dynamic text replacement. And this is the one that I've been using, for example, in the basketball example for the score. So you come to the score text. This is the one. And I come here and say, you know what, this is going to be a text replacement. And say, okay, I'm going to associate this text replacement to which variable. So it's going to be the score. That's a variable that I have here. And if I'm going to use a native font or not. Simple as that. And also you have the replacement, the text replacement, which is pretty much, okay, I'm going to have a text field here, and I'm going to use the keyboard and the type of the keyboard that I want to show you, and I'm going to save it in a variable or even in an external text file. And also I can say, okay, just after capture the entry. What else can I do? Run an action, for example. So this is also this is going to be a really cool thing if you're creating, for example, a children's book and you want to capture the children's name. You're going to be able to do that. So this is the replacement area. The other area, it's about interactions, and as I mentioned, several things here. The first one is buttons, and you have lots of new. The interface is new, but also you have lots of new interactions. You have autoplay now. You have movie and scale. You have show and hide navigation. You have coding. You can add to variables, external coding. There's the concept of conditions, if, else, and if. I'm going to show you some examples here. But if you click if, for example, it brings to you that. If what? If a variable or an expression that you want to code, the operator, the comparison, and the things that you can do. And also you are able now to move. Let me open something. Let me see. Change score here. Okay. In this case, I'm adding an action. I am now able to move things from top to bottom or bottom to top. So I mean, it gives you much more control than in the past. And also, it applies not only for layers, but for the full page or even in a specific group. But also, much more than buttons, you have drag objects, and there's news on drag also. Now you have much more control of your drag. You can set boundaries for the drag, both in the X or Y axles, or you can even set constraint for the angle. Just move in the vertical 90 degrees or 108 just in the horizontal. And now you have also the concept to have actions while you are dragging or when you release. So again, new concepts here. But also you have a much improved swipe. You can now have swipes in the full components, layers, page, and everything. So I don't know if you're familiar with the 3 pigs from Osgrow. You can do some kind of swipes in the pigs, and they do stuff. You can do the same here right now. You have the same for pinch. You can set pinch in a specific layer, page or group. You have also better control on the spin. You can control now angles, and even you can control what to do if you are spinning the clockwise rotation or counterclockwise. Also, it's another feature. So animations, pretty much what you have in Kwik right now, but with many more control. And one of them, for example, is now you have the option to use fixed end positions or randomized end positions. So again, you can do that. And the thing that everybody wants to see, which is the physics tool set. Again, you can define the environments for your physics, and I'm going to cover this better in this demo here. In this case, for example, I want to set physics, the environment, and I want Kwik to auto-create, for example, walls for me. In this scenario here, I'm asking Kwik to create a wall in the top, in the left, in the bottom, in the right, the bottom no, because I have the floor here. Why I'm telling this? Because if I'm not setting walls and the ball goes up out of the screen, it will not come back. So if you set walls, it will, bounce when it hits. Again, you don't need to create it. Kwik can do it for you quickly. Also, you have the concept of bodies. And for each element that you want to create, you can set a body. And again, you said if it's going to be dynamic, meaning that it will interact with the gravity, with everything. If it's going to be static, if it's going to be kinematic, meaning that it will work in the scenario, but it's not answer to gravity, or if it's just a sensor, something that will not render when it's there. And also, it's very common when you have an object, you have to tell what's the shape of the object. For rectangle, it's very simple, but also we are providing the circle and also polygon. Meaning that if you have a different object, it's not a circle, rectangular, you can do two things here. You can import this information from Physics Editor if you are using Physics Editor, and Kwik will you do the magic. Or if it's something that it's not that complicated, with up to 8 points, you can draw a path around and use this option here. Kwik will capture the path information and use the path as a shape. So, I mean, depending on your project, you can do both things, but this is something that you can do as well. You have the concept of applying force, and this is pretty much what I'm doing with the ball. I can say it's just automatic, or no, I'm going to push it or pull it, and Kwik also does the magic for me. Joints, you have laws of joints here applied to several different objects, and also the concept of collisions. And you say, okay, what happens if body one hits body two? Which kind of action should apply, and what I'm gonna do after the collision? Should I dispose the one of the object? I mean, let's say you are creating a game, asteroid games. So if an asteroid hit, probably it's gonna be a good idea to dispose it to free memory after the collision. So I mean, lots of controls here. Oh yeah, someone is saying, "Hey, remember nobody has seen the basketball." Let me show that this basketball sample here again, and this again made with Kwik, 100% no code here. This is pure Kwik. You can do things like that. So this is the kind of a game that you can create with Kwik. I mean, you can do much more than that, but you get the idea. So no code, and you can do the magic. Now that you saw the project, let me show you how to create it. But before that, another thing that some of you has asked me, hey Alex, the idea of export just the current page is pretty nice, but let's say my project has 10 pages. I am in page 5. I want to export from page 5 to page 10. Can I do that in Kwik 2? Yes, you can. You can come here and say, you know what? If you set to export everything, it doesn't show. But if you click here, you see this, meaning that you can export from page 1, which is the one that you are working on, to page, you set the number. Also, as you can see, you can move between pages or components just with the click of the mouse. So it's similar the way you do with Kwik 1, but I believe faster and better visually. So how to do that? As I mentioned, I have several layers here. For the floor, I have one layer here in the floor, and I came here and said, I'm gonna set a body floor for the floor. And what I did was, okay, this body, a floor is static, so I set it as static. And the same I applied to several components. But if you can see here, I have some tricks. I have this, I have the basket, but when I hide the basket, you see there's a thing here which I'm called arrow. So this is the area. If the ball hits, I'm gonna play the sound of the basketball sound bouncing there. And also there's another one here which I'm calling goal, which is this one that I'm hiding. And the idea of the goal it's a nice one because this is one that I set as sensor, meaning that you do not see the goal, because what happens when you have a sensor, the sensor does not render, but it's still there. So this is the way that I count the ball as a score. So when the ball hits the sensor, it's when the score will change. For the score, I have a variable called score, and I set it to a number. And I have also an action called change score. And what I told the X to do is, okay, if it's called, change the variable score to +2. Also play an audio, and that's it. And after that, I create a collision, and the collision was this one here. And I said pretty much, if the ball, which is the main body, collides with the goal, which is that area, what to do is change the score. And with that, I have everything done for me. So no need to, again, to add manual code. But again, if you want, if you need, you can do that. So let me try again to see if I can see the questions. And I have to say that I hate GoToWebinar at this moment because I cannot see the questions window. Still cannot. No. So let's go back to the presentation here. And let's talk about other things. Now that you saw the demo, I would really like if you can confirm that you can see the PowerPoint again. Cool. So we saw some demos. Compatibility. There are some things that you should know. I had to rewrite the audio stuff, and this is something that I didn't show you, but I'm gonna do now because I just forgot to do that. Show my screen. And for example, here in the audio, all audio files now must be inserted, added in the page level. In Kwik 1, you can add audios when you run an animation, when you do several things. Now you have to set all of them here, but I do provide much more control. You can set audios now, you can see which channels they are, you can play with channels, you can pause audio now, stop audio, change volume, you can do lots of things with audios here, but you have to bring them here. So what I'm trying to tell you with this information about compatibility is, if you do not bring your audio in the add page audio in the beginning, you're going to receive a message from the debug system telling, hey, I found an audio being called from the animation that does not exist in your project. So you have to do that. Another thing that I mentioned, there is no more comics mode in Kwik 2. Just few users used the comic SDK, which is provided from Corona. It's a very old one, not that much options. So my decision was to take it off, and I'm going to work in future release with the concept of cameras coming to Kwik 2. So if I'm planning to do a comic, keep with Kwik 1 at this moment because it's not in Kwik 2. There is no more the concept of mute and mute button. They make no sense anymore. So if you have a project and you want to move on to Kwik 2, you're going to have to remove the mute and mute because it's not going to render, and use instead the buttons with stop, audio, change volume, and things like that. So availability, some of you is asking. So for you, Kwik 2 Beta 1 is available now. You can go to kwiksher.com/download-Kwik 2, and you're going to be able to download the beta today. This is in a trial version till August 31st, meaning that you cannot do full projects here. It's just, you're just gonna be able to publish up to 4 pages. All the bugs that you find, and again, there are bugs. I've been rewritten it from the scratch. So do not send me emails. I cannot handle emails at this moment. Send all the bug finds to the forum. There is a forum area there called K2 Bugs, and this is the place. And why? It's not because I do not like your emails. I really do, the interactive that we have through emails, but because if you find a bug, someone else may find the same bug. So it's going to be an opportunity to put everything just one place. So do that, please. Also, my idea is July is to use the full month to fix bugs and to add some new features that I could not make for this first beta. There are some more coming before the official launch, but this is the thing that you should understand from for now. So I really need your interactions right now, and I have no idea how. I cannot unmute you, and I cannot see your questions. So let me see, what can I do here with go to webinar? Because the next topic it's about licensing. I'm gonna change the licensing model, and what happens today is some people have bought Kwik and have it's using in several places, and which fine, but I mean, for Kwik 2, Kwik is locked to the Photoshop installation, meaning that when you install Kwik 2, okay, it's going to be tied to your Photoshop serial number. You don't need to provide me anything. Everything happens on your own machine, but I'm just being very honest with you. It locks to your Photoshop. So if you have one Photoshop in your Mac and another one in your PC, you're going to need two different activation keys. Otherwise, they are not going to work because the serial number probably is different. But what happens if you have two Macs and in both Macs you have the same Photoshop? You can use the same activation key in both because the serial number is the same. So this is the first thing that you should know. The second thing is, because I know some of you have more than one machine, maybe one PC, maybe one Mac, the new license will provide you two activation keys. So you can use the two activation keys in two different Photoshop installations at the same time. Some of you may say, hey, I just have one computer, I'm just going to use one. That's fine. Some of you may say, you know what, I have two computers, I'm going to use two different ones. You can do that. Another thing that I'm going to provide with the license is free special webinars for paid users only. And this is the first one. Unfortunately, it's not working as expected, but this is the idea. Also, the showcase. The showcase, we know already that we had lots of improvements in the showcase. And the showcase is going to be even more improved just for you paid users. So what else do you expect, would like to have? I would love, because I cannot handle through here, send me questions via email or Twitter, and I'm gonna meanwhile read them and reply to you. And the ones that I cannot reply while we are doing this show here, I'm gonna, reply you directly. Also, if you can see the questions here, the window, use it, because I believe go to webinar will save it to me and send it to me. I simply just don't know why it's not showing up for me at all. But I read and I reply. Last thing is about, you may be asking, what about pricing? It's going to be the same? No, price is not going to be the same. Since, and I hope you understand why. We are talking about a very different thing. Since K1, the first version, we have just a limited set of stuff. And since then, no other company in the industry has provided 7.1 updates, most of them with new features like we did in just 1 year. So I hope you understand that it's not for book creation anymore. You can do lots of stuff. There's more benefits right now. So what I'm planning is this. And also, again, I would like to talk to you, to share with you, and collect your feedback, not from here because we cannot, but probably through email. It's regarding price. For new users, the new price for Kwik is going to be $250. And before you start to scream on me, it's too expensive. It's less than 2 hours of a developer. So, and as you can see, you can do lots of things right now. So we are going to have an introductory price during the beta period. So I hope as soon as we finish with this private beta here, I'm going to open up a larger one. And during this period of time, people will be able to buy Kwik for $200. And again, before screaming, let's take in consideration that even that, it's pretty much less than 1 hour of a developer. So upgrades. If you have purchased Kwik in the past, you're going to be able to update it, to upgrade it for $150. But for the introductory price, it's going to be $100. If you were the one that purchased Kwik at $80, it's still a deal compared to a fully new version. And if you were one of the ones who purchased with the, the discount that we had last month, it's going to be less than $150. So again, I hope you can provide me some feedback on that, your thoughts, complaints, suggestions. I'm pretty open to review that. That's why this part of the conversation is not going to be public. It's not going to be available in the recordings for the main audience. But I'm really willing to hear from you. I'm going to open my Twitter here to see if we do have more or some questions from you coming from Twitter. It seems so. Still some people mentioned the presentation was not good. So I am on Twitter here. I'm also gonna open the support at kwiksher.com email. If you have some emails, send to there with some suggestions or comments. And like you, again, I'm pretty frustrated with the GoToWebinar experience. I see some of you putting some information on Twitter, and again, it has been super frustrating. So I have some comments here regarding, and I'd like to handle them right now. I mean, everything that comes now, I'm going to reply now, which is locking Kwik to Photoshop is bad. My serial number is bundled in a work deal statewide. I see. Let's discuss. Let's send me an email, and I'm gonna try to do something different. And again, that's why I'm not broadly announcing everything, because there's still time to change things if it's the case. So this is a situation or an exception that it wasn't planned. So I'm gonna work on that. So if you can discuss a little bit more about this, it's gonna be cool. So let's see what else we have here. Updated comics. Are there any plans to be in K2 later? What I'm planning for K2 regarding comics is, number one, forget the concept of comics is something different than a book. A comic is a book app. What I'm going to do is to bring the only feature that we have in comics right now in Kwik 1, which is the camera. I'm going to bring the camera in the near future as an option in your regular Kwik 2 project. So if you still need to do a comic like you do now, you are going to be able to do so. You're going to have the option to add a camera, and then click users double tap camera area. It's going to zoom it for you. But there's going to be a comics with asteroids, because you're going to be able to put audio, to put everything, because at the end it's going to be a book, not a comic, as you are familiar with. Because honestly, the current implementation of comics just sucks. So yes, comics are gonna be there. Someone is willing to buy an upgrade now. You don't have to buy now. Just just wait a little bit more. Let's see what else we have here. Uh, I have one amazing one here. Thank you, appreciate. So let's see what else we have in the emails. Yeah. So questions, any more questions, comments, things that I should cover, things that you are still willing to see? I still have, I believe, a few minutes more. So if you want to see a specific feature that I quickly showed you, it's still time. Just ask me via email or through Twitter. The chat I don't think is working. Are you there? Questions. I'm trying to provoke some interactive here from the chat area. So see, at this moment, I'm not. Some people say, hey, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not sharing anything at this moment. Just having this conversation. I have another question here: is are you using Director or Storyboard app API? Answer is Director. There are several reasons for that, but at this moment, I think it's safe to keep with Director than Storyboard API. So the presentation, first half of the video was frozen on outline of PowerPoint. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll show you again. So let me read from bottom to top here. Minimum version, it's the same. If you can run Kwik today, you can run Kwik 2. And one thing that I'm going to show you quickly here, I forgot to show you, and I think this is a nice one. Let me see if I am still sharing. So can you see me again? Oh, so stop screen and raise your hands here if you can see me. Cool. Which is the visual. Now, if you publish something and there is no issues, you have this thing running here, the progress bar. So again, you can see that the thing is running, and again, there is no issues and everything is fine. So I think this is also a cool addition. So let's see. Minimal version, so CS5 or above. It runs in CS6. We have been testing a lot, and it's running well. Beta period. My idea is to have the beta period probably in July, but end of July, and I'm working with my marketing guy, which is attending also the conversation today on how we are gonna move on from version 1 to 2. But my idea is to in August start to sell the K2 version. So using July as the month for fixings and things like that. So release date, not defined. I'm hoping to go more or less August 15 at the moment, which is pretty much 1 year after 1.5, which was a huge change. What else? Audio options. If I can show more details. Yes, let's see here. As you can see, you have the same concept. You have the location of the audio. You define if it's short file or not. If you are gonna keep repeating it, if it's gonna be a README file audio, if it plays when page start or not. If you just have an audio that will be called later on in the process, like in my example, just when the ball collides with the floor, for example, I come here and say, no, it's not gonna play when it starts. You have the concept of playing all page, and here you can say the volume for the audio because you are working different channels, as well as you have a view here of all the audios that you are using. And if the audio used is a global one, you're gonna see here that the G. So it's oh, okay. There's a global audio in channel 2. So I'm not gonna work with channel 2 because there's something already in there. So here you add audio. When you go to the action or to the button window, you see here that in the audio category, you have play audio, pause audio, resume audio, rewind audio, stop audio, set volume, and mute and unmute audio, read to me, play read to me, place everything related to audio is here in this category. And also you have the common one, which is the things that usually people use more. And also several other categories here as I mentioned. So let's see what else we have here. Uh, can my mom use Kwik 1 after I buy Kwik 2? It's an amazing question. Yes, it can. She can. It's a different serial number. It's different everything. Another one. When you compare your dollars to what you pay a developer, worth is a lot for what you provide. May want to show the webinar on YouTube. Thanks for the suggestion. I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna just try to cut everything just for the demo because I think some of this information here should be, just for you, which are supporters of since the beginning. I'm gonna publish it and send you the information. I have another one here asking me to if I can demo a little bit about variables. Yes, the concept as I mentioned. The first thing you do, you create the variable. I never know how to pronounce this. So you set a name, start value. You tell if it's a text, if it's a number, or if it's a formula. Also, if it's going to be global or local, and there's also always some hints here. Even you can say if it's a table or not. And this creates the variable. Where can you use variables? You can use, as I mentioned, in the dynamic text area. You can associate things from a variable to this replacement, like I'm using the score here in the in the basketball demo. You can use also variables here in the text replacement. And you can use them in all conditional things, even on your coding. You can say like I did. I wanted to increase my variable. Let me show you a quick example here. It's the drag to one. The drag to example. I just create something here in this action. So I have a if here. So if I move the slider, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work with the variable that I created called my slider, and I'm gonna associate the slider y to the variable. So you can do pretty much whatever you want with variables. Variables are nice to track scores, to work with something that people has asked a lot, which is polls or questionnaires. You can do that. I mean, you can use it all around. So let me see. How do you create an action in K2? Same as in K1, you come here in the action window or component, different interfaces. I see it's the same interface for the buttons. You create everything that you want for the action. The action then be available in the panel here. And with that, you can pretty much associate actions to everything, to a button, to a drag object, to a pinch object, shake, everything. So let me see here the emails. Another one about store app API or direct, I think we cover. If you can animate a sensor, I believe so, because the sensor is still there, but you cannot see the animation. So, but it's a good one because at the same time the animation must be visible. I don't know, Hank. You or me or we have to check it. K2 query. Let me see. For those who get the beta version of Kwik, will there be free upgrades once the bugs are ironed out? Yes. If you download the beta, every time that I update the beta, you're going to receive information directly from the plugin. As I mentioned, let me show you it fast here. So just enable the check updates here. Okay. And I'm going to close Photoshop and open again. So meanwhile, I'm gonna answer another one. We'll work with CS6. Yes, I answered that already. It does work. Open. Meanwhile, I'm gonna ask another one. Okay, variables we covered already. Create action. There. Oh, can I show you an example using external code? Yes, I can, but let me just bring Photoshop back to live here. And with that, I'm going to show you how to do that, as well as answer the question about the updates on the beta. If you can see here, I am using the latest version, so it's blue. But the moment that I add another update, it becomes orange when you start Kwik again. So you're going to be able to come here, click this, and it will send you to the update page. And let me quickly show you an example of adding external code. As I mentioned, you can add external code. You can add an external library. For example, let's say you are using, I don't know, particle candy. You come here, just say, okay, I want add particle candy, and you enter the information here, or sprite lock or whatever. It captures the information. But you are also able to create or to add external code. And when you do that, you can do that in a button, in an action, or you can do that in the page. And you can say, okay, I want to add a code here. Let's say I want to print, I don't know, my name. So this is my code, and I can say I want to add my code on top of my page or on the bottom of the page. And if you see the way Kwik exports a page right now, it's a much easier way to export. Let me see if I can open something to show you quickly here. So I think I have something to show here. So this is a code created by Kwik. You see that it's much easier to read. And also you have the errors here. External code you handle here if you are using the external code in the top. So it's code that happens before everything. Or if you want the code execute after everything, you use the button and it will render the code here. So this is the way to create code, and you do that, and that's it. Inserting videos, any limitations on resolution? I mean, in Kwik, you just define the size of the window. And when you do that, let me move things here. Let me pick this, let's say roller here. When you do that, just come here and say video. All you have to do is to point to your video, set the size of the window, set an action, which may happen when the video ends, but the resolution, it's your own video. There is no such thing of Corona doesn't care about this. If the video is a valid one, it's gonna render. So I think, so let's see what else we have. Can I import my previous project into Kwik too? Yes, you can, but you have to handle, the compatibility issues. And that's why I think it's a nice thing to have the new debug system. My suggestion to you, open your project there, click Publisher. And if there's an issue, it's gonna pop up in your screen. But again, the main issue that I've seen here are the audios being called from animations So all you have to do is to import the audio as a page audio. You don't even need to touch the animation because the audio is going to be referenced to there. But this is one thing. The other thing is mute and mute. It's not going to hinder. But more than that, probably it's going to work for sure. What else? Canvas detail. The canvas didn't change very much. In fact, it's pretty much the same canvas, same concept. Again, it's a replacement. You set brush and everything. You must have a transparent PNG, but it's pretty much the same. And if you have some suggestions for improvements, I'm willing to put them in the feature list. Global code. Global code. Can I have global code? Not at this moment. My suggestion to you, if you want to have a global code, is to create a library for this global code and use the import library in the project. But also, again, if this is something that everybody needs to send me a note through the forums, and we can work together on that for sure. So because I know you need to go, and I need to go because I have to catch a plane in a while. Thank you so much for attending. It's just the beginning. You use the forums for bug, download things, test things, and not only use the bug forums, there's also the suggestions for Kwik tool. If you have suggestions of new features, improvements, use the forums to do so. I'm going to be traveling, as I mentioned, for a few days. Email is not going to be very common, but I'll do my best to answer them. That's why I'm asking you using the forums, because it's going to be much faster to get returns from there. So is there, and my last question is going to be two last one. Can we have both plugins installed at the same time on different projects? Yes, you can. Sometimes it's going to mess up with Photoshop, but you can. And the last one is there a way to use the same project for different device and change canvas size without breaking path animations? And this is simple answer is no, because path animation are related to the size of the path. So if the path it's out of the screen, for example, in a smaller device, you have to work on that again. So saying that again and again and again, thank you so much. Sorry for the mess up with GoToWebinar, and I'll keep you posted as soon as I submit the recording to the website. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.